my original intent for the last few weeks was always to be talking about finance. And I never thought that I was going to get a fill-in guest like Earl Forester, because really, Earl knows a lot about finance. And I actually had the pleasure of interviewing him once at the Republic of Texas rally in 2014. He sat down and we talked money and numbers and gold and silver and composites and digital currency and fiat currency and this and that. And he has opinion about all that stuff. And I'm not going there with him today, but, you know, I can't ever say that I'm not going anywhere, because we might go there a little bit. But I was looking for somebody specific this week, and so I had to cast the net out, you know, after my second-hour guest kind of couldn't make it this week, and we're going to work that out again. But Earl's going to talk to us about the early days of the Republic. So you had the Republic of Texas in the 1800s. It ended up shutting down shop after around 10 years, right? And then, well, it started up again in 2005. You know, 2007 it was fully formed. But why should I tell you this story? Why should I tell you, well, you know, how it came together? Why don't I just hit this little button over here and watch the spinny doohickey, and then all of a sudden we do this? Hey, Earl, are you there?
I'm here, thank you.
Okay.
It's good to talk to you, Steve. A long time no see. Here.
It's been a while, huh? Man, that's
last
great.
August. Yes.
Wow. Hey, man, so do tell me, the Republic of Texas, how did you come about understanding that Texas needed to be free? What brought you there and when?
Well, I guess my first argument was freedom, or great desire for freedom, was when I was audited by the IRS, and I had a little real estate business in Austin, and they audited me, and it took them 6 months to audit me, and I figured there was something wrong. It just was something wrong. Are you still on? I got a big click there. Hello?
Right. No, we're still here, man.
Oh, okay.
Keep going.
Anyway, that started me out, and then I started subscribing to a little newspaper called the Spotlight newspaper. I'm sure a lot of your listeners still remember that, but it's been on the wayside for quite a number of years.
What year was that?
Oh, that was in
year?
the 70s, I guess.
That's great.
In the early 70s, when I was subscribing to it, and there was a man by the name of Dr. Martin Larson that wrote an article every once in a while in the Spotlight newspaper, and he just kept saying, you know, there's things wrong, but I didn't know what they were. I was just I felt there was something wrong, but I didn't know what, and then so it evolved from there. And then later on, when I moved from Austin down to San Antonio, and this was in the 90s, 88, 89, along in there. Then this Republic of Texas started up, and I was one of the first, made the first meeting of the Republic of Texas, and that's
right.
where I really got interested in.
Well, that was the Richard McLaren Republic of Texas. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes, that was Richard McLaren.
And
he was the. Go ahead.
Well, Richard McLaren was he was the guy for the 90s to stand up and say, you know, Texas needs to be free. And he did that, and he had a lot of people listening to him, didn't he? I heard lots of reports of hundreds, and, you know, one person even told me thousands of people had showed up at his little meetings all around Texas. Have you ever seen that, or is that incorrect? Correct.
No, that is correct. Let's start at the beginning. The first I heard of Richard McLaren and what was going on, they said they were going to have a meeting in Austin. Now, most people never heard of this being the first meeting of the Republic of Texas, but there were 11 of us that met in Austin, of which Richard McLaren and when they declared that say, hey, we need some changes, and so we're going to kick this off. And then the second meeting was out in West Texas, of which there were 29 of us there, and that's when it really got started. It was enthusiasm and just on and on. And then the next meeting was in what they call the Cotton Gin here in Austin. Here in San Antonio, I'm sorry, not Austin, but here in San Antonio. And there were, I guess, I don't know how many people were there. I'm estimating 300 or more there. And then it grew from there. The largest meeting that we had was in Houston. I don't know how many were there. It was just, they were everywhere. It was just, the rooms were packed, and I was busy doing something else, and I didn't get to meet a lot of the people there or even listen to what all went on there because I was so busy trying to, in my little cube, doing what I was doing, that I didn't really get the gist of it until it was over. And then, of course, then there was the big meeting in Austin where we met and went to the IRS, and I told them to get out of town. And, of course, they didn't leave, but still yet we were standing up for what we felt was right.
Right. So Richard McLaren, it was like a slow thing to start, goes to 13 to, wow, a whole bunch of people. What crashed? What went wrong with Richard McLaren's Republic of Texas? Because it's not the same Republic of Texas that we know, me and you, right?
Well, really what went wrong with it, and I will be forever sorry that I didn't bring this up at our meeting in West Texas. It seems that once something of this nature starts, regardless whether it's political or otherwise, it starts out with one person trying to do something and then a few join in. And then as more people join in, each one of them has a little platform that they want something to add to the platform. And first thing you know, you have, 100 people with 100 different agendas. And I'm sorry that I did not state at our meeting that, hey, let us choose 5 things on a platform and let's not argue about anything else except those 5 things, or allow anything else to come in until we get one of them off the board, and then we'll move on to another one. And that's what happens with most movements, is they get out of hand because too many people want to go in too many different directions. And that's what happened with the Republic of Texas.
And Daniel Miller, and then that got all out of control, and he ended up, in some kind of a firefight and yada, yada, and then the Republic of Texas goes down in history, at least the 90s Republic of Texas, as a strange militant group. I hear that a lot, actually. Not really a lot, every once in a while.
Well, the thing is, of course, there's always the media that's never on your side. They take things out of context. They always do, always have, and always will. They're part of the establishment, and even though regardless of how wrong the establishment is, they're still part of the establishment, and they're not going to change until their pocketbook changes. And that's for that. It's just like with the Republic of Texas now, as it stands. Anyone that would read our platform and not say that, hey, this is what I want, it's got their head in the sand, or they just don't know, or just do not care. I mean, I do not talk to anybody, but hardly anyone, that doesn't have something bad to say about their government. And I'm not talking about just the federal. I'm talking about the state, the local.
Sure.
Sure.
I believe
yes.
you. I believe you totally. I can say the exact same thing. Everybody has something that's gone wrong. But the question is what are they doing about it? Seems like you've been dealing with what do I do about it for a while, and then in the 90s you found the concept or the idea of, Texas independence. You went through the Daniel Miller Republic of Texas time pulled out into the 2000s. And where did everybody go when Daniel Miller went to jail? Did anything else form up, or everybody kind of kept in touch with some people and something like that?
Well,
is there anything next?
Well, Daniel, I did not know that Daniel Miller went to jail. I wasn't aware of that at all. But
I'm sorry. I was talking about Richard McLaren, not Daniel Miller.
Oh, Richard McLaren, yes. Well, here again, Richard McLaren went off on a different bench than what he started out to be. And he tried to buck the federal government and the federal courts, and of course you just can't do that. It doesn't work. They have the money and the power to. They may not have the authority, but they have the money and the power to do whatever they want to with you, and that's what they've done with him. And I mean, he was really railroaded like many other people.
Right. It's all gone now.
Yeah.
So
when he left, yes, the Republic of Texas went way down, and in a sense it's still down. But I repeat again, anyone you go to the website on your computer and look at the platform that's been stated for the people, and who wouldn't choose that over what we have today?
Yeah, that's one of my biggest questions. Why not? Why not be free? Trying to tell people that they don't have to behave like what we're behaving right now, paying taxes on everything, paying taxes. Man, how many times do you pay taxes and so forth? There's got to be a way out. And when I look at the United States as a way out and trying to go to Congress and vote them, make them do something, I go, no, that ain't going to happen. Tell the United States of America, corporate U.S., to follow the Constitution. They'll say we do. And I'll go door to door, right? I've done this once, Earl. I walked down Main Street with an MP3 recorder, and I asked everybody I could. I said, do we follow the Constitution? I did not get one reply, yes. Well, no, I'll take that back. One guy said, yes, and then quickly said no. And I was astounded, right? And I don't know. What did they turn around and go home and watch TV and go back into leisure land? And some of us care and some of us don't.
Steve, first of all, there's probably not 1 in 100 people that have really read the Constitution. And I can't say that I've studied it enough to know it. Basically, our Constitution is, to most people, is living honestly. But if you ask somebody to quote you something from the Constitution, they can't. They may know the First, Second Amendment, freedom of speech, and gun rights, but outside of that, they don't know the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. They just don't know them, and they don't know what they stand for. But that's only one part of it. That's only one part of it. You talk to people, they say, would you like to be a sovereign person? Oh, yes, yeah, I'm sovereign, yeah. But, how can you be sovereign? And of course, here I go right into the money situation now. As always, but okay.
I knew you'd do that to me. It's okay. We're good.
Well, to be sovereign, you cannot be dependent on anything or anybody. So if you're a nation coming into being, you must have your own money. You can't be dependent on somebody else's money. It won't work. And this is that's what I've been advocating to the Republic of Texas. Hey, let us get our own money. And in order to have,
I totally agree with that position, but I'll raise you one potato. What about being Texian living in the Republic of Texas and the corporation, not the corporation, God, no, I don't want another corporation. I want the Republic of Texas to be a republic, serve the people, represented by the people. And the question ends up coming in currency, since we're playing with currency. how can I be sovereign under that nation if I don't have my own currency? You know, do I have to operate in Republic of Texas currency when we're talking being sovereign as being linked to producing your own currency?
No. What I propose is this, that we produce a intrinsic valued money. We'll just refer to them as units. That is divisible in order to where you can make change. It will be made with various metals, and the worth of the coin or unit will be in the unit itself. It can be made by anywhere in the world, and with just a separate stamp for each nation. But that same currency could be used throughout the world, and it would have nothing to do with government. It's the people's money, not the government's money, not the Federal Reserve's money. It's the people's money, and it's worth something.
Okay. And so, as a Texian, a resident of Texas, you know, business transactions will be handled in currency, but I'm free to trade in silver, gold, or whatever other foreign currency. Would that be correct?
That would be correct. In other words, the governments could have their own money. You know, they could have all the paper money they wanted, but you and I would have our own coin money that would be intrinsic.
Okay.
It'd be worth something.
Right.
Theirs is not worth anything.
Right. Fiat currency.
And
you're not a supporter.
The key to that is you must have enough coins or enough different coins to where you can make change.
Right, divisible by quarters, 50 cents, 5, 10s, the U.S. thing. The Europeans used to do it in 10s and 20s, and you know the other different directions.
Well, America did it back when we used gold and silver. I mean, it was all divisible, and all the money was intrinsic. Now it's all paper throughout the world. And it's controlled by a few different people.
And the problem in trading in silver and gold is that the fixed value of those are always fluctuating too. Well, and then there's the problem of there's not enough silver, gold, and copper and stuff to be bartered with at this present time. Or is that a moot point? Or is that right or wrong?
Well, a coin can be made of anything that's value. If we were used to just for example, the coins that we have today, the pennies, nickels, quarters, dollars. If the penny is they thin this so much, it's not even worth a penny hardly. The same way with a nickel. But you can make those coins to where they have that value. You put the value into the coin itself of so much nickel as whatever the market value of it is, and it will pretty well stable itself. It's like gold and silver. You can always interchange gold and silver, regardless of how it fluctuates.
Okay.
So all of this, I'm just giving you my opinion. It's not something
I love opinions. I need, in order to have a good argument, discussion about anything, you got to have all the sides of the story, right? We got to talk about silver and gold. You have an angle of composite units, divisible, right? I've heard people actually talk about, fiat currency and the governmental control thing, and we'll talk about that. And, electronic or digital currencies. But tonight, I really wanted to give some lineage. And we will bring you back on if you're interested, and we'll continue on this conversation. Let's keep going down the finance path on Sunday nights for the next few weeks. And then we'll swing around back to you, and, we'll talk about, currency, blended currency in units. Would blended be the correct term?
Would what?
Blended? Because you're talking about metals with intrinsic value, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't follow you on the blended coin. You mean blended metals within each coin? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the kind of where you go with monetary units.
Yeah, but that's where where you'd have to go. It's because in order to get the where you can make change for a dollar, so to speak.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to drag you back to after Richard McLaren and his Republic of Texas in the 90s. There's a group's name that I heard talked about. They were called the 10th Congress. You ever hear of a group called that?
I was away during that time. I've heard of it, but I really know nothing about it.
Okay. Well, it sounded like they had a little bit of the same idea as the Republic of Texas did, and they understood that the 10th Congress never came to work, and all they had to do is reelect the 10th Congress and then come back in and say, we're convened and we're going to start operating as a government. Now, tell me about that. Were you there when the Republic of Texas first came together and said, well, we're going to start it up again? And it's like somewhere in 2005.
Yes. This is when I sort of came back into the fold to a degree. But then I was there for just a little while. Then I left. I became their treasurer, and this is when we really put forth the effort of being an independent nation again. As far as each ramification or each step in that direction, I wasn't that in the know, so to speak, of what was going on, and in fact, I almost have to plead ignorance there. This is more Ed Branham territory.
Okay.
And,
well, I'll definitely run that by Ed next time we get him on. But do you remember the first president after that long break between the presidency? You know, this guy named Larry Hughes. Do you remember him at all?
I remember Larry Hughes very well.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about Larry? What was he like? I don't know too much about him.
His personal life or his political life. Larry was a do-nothing president. I personally thought it was a mistake to have him as president, and he refused to sign anything or do anything his whole presidency. He may as well not have been there. As far as, and that's my opinion of Larry. And Larry and I rode back and forth to the Republic of Texas meetings on numerous occasions, and had lots of good talks. And that when Larry became president, he was a totally different person than he was when I was on a personal basis with both he and his wife. And in fact, I've helped him move twice, and he's been at my house several times, and on and on. But that's as far as I would like to go with Larry.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just trying to get a snapshot of the time when Larry was president and get a good feel, right? And the only way we do that is get everybody's understanding their impression of the man, the individual, you know, and we'll patch together a story about Larry Hughes and see what's the measure of the man or whatever, you know, but he was there, you know, he was, you know, he existed in the rebirth of Texas. He was there, and he's a very knowledgeable person, and he was there at the Republic of Texas up until he became president. It was just just a really an interesting person to talk to, knowledgeable, knew this and that and that. But when he became president, he did nothing. And, There's another president.
I wish we had a president like that for the United States.
Yeah, to do nothing? Wow, wouldn't that be wonderful? After him, you know, this is one of my favorites, right? I don't know him as a president or anything. I just know him as, well, well, he's talked a little bit, and I liked what he had to say. His name's Jerry Lahr, right? You know, Jerry Lahr was the second president of the Republic of Texas, you know, after it came back into being. I always say first president, second president. You know, there were other presidents, and Ansel,
wait a minute. Did you say Jerry Lahr was president?
Yeah, wasn't Jerry Lahr president? Did I get that wrong?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, no. Well, I've heard that quite some time, you know, but I'm willing to be corrected. Who was the second president?
Golly, let me go back here.
Okay, because the lineage that I have puts Jerry Lahr as president for about a year of his 3-year term, at which time he was arrested and went to jail, and his vice president at the time, which was Richard Perkins, ends up stepping up and taking the role of president while Jerry Lahr was absent.
I could be mistaken there, because I had to leave the Republic of Texas, and I was absent for a long, long time, just trying to make it, because I had to quit in order to go make a living. And so maybe I'm wrong with Jerry Lahr, but I hadn't seen him in a long time. I thought until I didn't even know that he went to prison, but until he had returned.
Right.
So
you know,
possibly I'm wrong on him. But I did not know he was president. I know they wanted him to run for president prior to him going to prison, but I didn't know that he became president.
Yeah, I think he did. I've heard this previously, and because Richard Perkins is the only president to have served 5 years. You know, the regular position of president you can run one time, run 3 years, but Richard Perkins, he served as vice president, Jerry Lahr going to jail, all of a sudden Richard Perkins pulls the ship up and goes on for 2 years, ends up running and getting elected for the presidency for the next year, his first year as president, true president, and so forth. You know, the job of president, it's a lackluster job, don't you think? You know what it entails?
Well, yes, it is.
It's not something that they get involved in, that they're going to make any money, not going to be popular, have any power, and you have a lot of responsibility, and, well, your big job is to follow the Constitution and do what's right and prevent, be the checks and balances, represent the people, and that's what I like. I don't know much about Richard Perkins when he was president. What was that like? What did you think about Richard?
Well, see, here again, I had to withdraw from the Republic of Texas, and I didn't keep up with it at all during those years. I came back into the fold when John Zarnicki became president, and he called me and asked me if I would like to return as a Treasury. And I had a long talk, with my wife, and I finally decided to do so. But prior to then, I was absent for 6 years or 7 years there. That I just wasn't part of the RT. See, I missed out on 2 different occasions. I was gone for 40 months, and then I returned and was involved as a senator, etc. And then I came back as I left, and then I came back again last year.
Mhm. Yeah, John Zarnicki is the one that dragged me into the Republic of Texas too. He talked about it for many, many years as I knew him, and then finally I said, "Really? They're you president? Well, they must know something." So, okay, if they got you going, then that gives it some validity. International recognition. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, God, what's the word? Is that the right angle, the right vector? Everybody keeps this and
well,
that.
as I understand it, and here again, you're really talking to the wrong man about that. Of course, that's what we're trying to get is international recognition, and exactly how
okay.
that is coming about.
I just wanted a personal opinion, right? Everybody has a feeling, a gut feeling, and we're only people here.
Are you asking me? Are you asking me if I feel like we will get there?
Yeah, sure. Tell me.
Okay. Yes. I think we will. I think that the closer we move to the revolution, which seems to be the thing that's coming about now, that everyone's talking about, that I believe that more and more people are going to say, well, hey, I'd rather be a separate nation than to go along with what's coming about. It's sooner or later, I believe people's going to have to make a choice. Say, hey, we can't stand this anymore. We're going to have to make a change, and so that's my opinion.
Do you feel a lot of people resonate with the idea or feel kindly to Texas being independent, or somehow, do you find a lot of people that are good with that idea, or do you have people opposing?
No, I don't. I find very few that will even listen or hear about it, because they're so involved in their everyday life that they don't have time to think about anything or get involved with anything. Or even think about Texas becoming a separate nation. And when you mention it to them, well, how can that be? That's not going to happen. That's what you hear. And whether it's from local people or even out-of-state people, that's what they say. Well, that's impossible. Well, it is until you're pushed up against the wall, and then the people have a way of fighting back when they get pushed into the wall far enough. Well, I truly believe that something will happen, but not until that time. I had a man tell me some years ago, I said, when do you think that this thing is going to change? And his statement was, when the women hit the streets. And that still rings a bell with me. It's usually like women's suffrage. When the women hit the streets, things change. Are you still there? Hello?
We're having some audio trouble. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. But did you hear me?
It went all crazy. So I'm still here. I think one of my computers took a dump. Well, okay. Well, it could cut us off at any moment now, Earl. If you're still there, let's just do this. What's important nowadays? Can you tell me that?
What's important nowadays is, the people and the people coming together is the only way it's going to happen, and the state's going to change, and there's going to be change, and I think it's going to be worse before it gets better. But there are going to be changes, and I think they're coming fast. And that's what I'm reading, and that's what I believe.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't argue with any of that. And so, well, we're going to have to bring you back, maybe in a handful of weeks or maybe 3 weeks. You want to come back and talk about money and talk about how we should do a divisible currency that's based on metals and has an intrinsic value. I guess that's the deal.
I would enjoy that, and I feel like that's where I'm really qualified. The things that we've talked about tonight, I feel like that there's other people that could handle it much better than me.
Earl, if you were there, you were there, right? Just whatever you felt was going on. That's great for me. I really appreciated your time. It means a lot to me.
Well, I appreciate you and the work that you do, and so do a lot of other people. I know that.
Great. Well, until next time, Earl, take care, and thank you so, so much.
So thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Okay. So as we were speaking, I don't know what the heck happened there. It started going south. I'm kind of struggling at this point to restart another computer and, well, see if the show's still going on. It should be going on, but you never know with Blog Talk. It kind of boots you off. But I'm going to now go ahead and finish talking, and just in the hopes that it's still going so I can close the show off well correctly. Telling you that, well, freedom, liberty, and, well, a republic, a restored republic is one of the most important things for the world in general, not let alone the United States. Letting go of Texas is important. The first way to recovery is returning to an honest government system, something that the people have a say in, that it's not a dictatorship. That's really important. I can drag voices, people that have been involved with the Republic of Texas, people that, people that just care, right? Lots of people want freedom and liberty. They're done with this. It's time to move on. You can help. Go to thetexasrepublic.com. Take a look at what we've got up there. Like Earl was telling us, see what we're about. Kick the tires. Come to our next meeting. The next meeting is on Saturday, June 13th, as Tom wanted. I guess I made a boo-boo last time. Next meeting, 9:30 a.m., Saturday, June 13th, 2015, at BFW Post 2427, and that's at 14408 Alice Road in Tomball, Texas, 77377, so you can put it in Google and get accurate or semi-accurate, directions. There's a lot still left to be talked about. It's nice. We've got Doc Krupa back out of jail. Shouldn't have gone to jail in the first place. That's going to be an ongoing story. Not that, it's very interesting, very important. Susie, that's going on too. But the important part is, what are you doing to free Texas? Are you talking to people about Texas independence? Are you asking questions? Do you have a problem with what we are saying here? Every Sunday night, you can listen to us over at thetexasrepublic.com. You're welcome to call in at any time. The phone number is 347-857-4397. And, just don't call that if you hear me on Spreaker, SoundCloud, or YouTube or whatever, because we only do this on Sunday nights. And your time to call is when we're live, 7 o'clock through 9 o'clock. And it's the end of this thing, man. I really do appreciate you listening. I want to give you, we're going to do it again just because I feel we need to play this song again. Oh, I can't do that. Bad, Steve. Well, no biscuit. Oh, well. Hey, love you guys. I guess I'm going to go away without a song. I always got a song. It's not tonight. Take care. Love you.